Oh, yeah! You know what time it is. That's right, it's time for the Eddie and Webby podcast! Yo, I'ma bust out some theme song action for you. Check it out. The Eddie and Webby show is the place to be. They're talking about beer and pickleball and technology. So if you didn't know, now you know. 'Cause it's time for the Eddie and Webby show.
On today's episode, Eddie and Webby show you how to talk your way out of a speeding ticket. This is the Eddie and Webby podcast.
A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, hey, how's it going? This is Webby, not Eddie.
And I'm Eddie, and this is our 77th podcast.
Oh, yeah, episode number 77.
That's right. I can't believe we've made it this far. Isn't there something like good about the number 7? It's like a holy number. Do you know about this, Webby?
I think so. I think I've heard that the 7 is good, and this is double 7, so this is double good, right?
That's right. We made it. 77. This is like 58 episodes beyond where I thought we were going to get to, but I'm very excited about it. We have an amazing guest that we're going to have tonight. We are live, folks. That's right. We are live on Facebook. We are live on YouTube. And for the one person, actually the 2 Twitch Chris's, we're live on Twitch. I can never say live on Twitch without screwing it up at least once. Why is that?
I don't know. And then try saying Twitch Chris 5 times real fast. I bet it's not easy.
Twitch Chris. Nope. I can't even do it twice. You try it.
Twitch Chris. Nope, can't be done. It's impossible. Literally impossible.
If you guys can do it, let us know, especially because after the podcast, guys, we're going to be taking the stream down. We're going to be coming right back up with another episode of Dinking Around with Eddie and Webby. And although tonight is going to be a little bit different because we actually have a guest lined up, you're not going to want to miss that, right, Webby?
Yeah, it's going to be super fun. You got to stay tuned tonight. This whole night is going to be super fun from beginning to end.
That's right. Well, I'm very excited to be able to bring our guest on here in a minute, but I want to know, the world wants to know, the universe wants to know, Webby, what's going on in Twitter?
Oh, man, that is a great question. I'm glad you asked. I actually just so happen to have Twitter pulled up here on my cellular telephone. Let's go ahead and see what kind of random tweets we got going on today. Here is one from at Dinkerbell99. It was awesome to see Steve Deacon on episode 77 of the Eddie and Webby show. The Pros Asking Pros Questions segment was one of your best ever. Well, thank you, Dinkerbell. It's very kind of you. And yeah, I thought that was a great episode. I thought Steve was an awesome guest, and that was an awesome Pros Asking Pros Questions segment. I mean, it was probably one of the longest segments ever, but some awesome and great questions. I loved it.
I agree, but I think Dinkerbell got her numbers confused because isn't this episode 77?
Oh, man, Dinkerbell, you got to get your facts straight here.
Clean it up, Dinkerbell.
Yeah,
Come on.
This is episode 77. Man,
right.
Oh, man.
Jeez, oh,
making us look bad, Dinkerbell. But it was still a nice comment. I appreciate it. I appreciate the feedback. Let's do another tweet here. Here's one from Jabba the Shut Up. I can't stand Eddie and Webby at all, but their bad lip-reading ripoff videos are actually pretty entertaining. Well, that was probably the nicest thing that Jabba has ever said to us. He's commented in the past, and I think hidden in there is as a compliment, actually, so thank you.
I mean, the bad dink reading videos are epic, and if you guys haven't checked them out, you definitely should. So I guess it's kind of a compliment.
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, those bad dink reading videos, they're super fun to work on. We recently did one to honor the Nationals tournament that did not get to happen this year because of COVID. So we took footage from last year's Nationals and gave it the bad dink reading treatment. So if you haven't watched that yet, you should check it out. But I say we do one more comment here on Twitter. Okay. Here's one from Abraham Dinkin. What's the deal with Eddie and Webby teasing that they'd show us their new commercial during episode 77 of the podcast, but never actually showing it? Not cool, guys. Well, once again, this is episode 77, so I don't know what everybody's talking about.
What the heck, Abraham? Jeez.
Right? Honest Abe. I was going to curse, but I'm not going to curse right now. Anyways, But yeah, so that is on the previous episode, I did tease that we were going to play our commercial that aired during the PPA event in Las Vegas. And I totally forgot. We never played it. So, Eddie, I don't know if you have it handy, but I think we should go ahead and roll that right now. Our commercial.
Let's do it.
Does life sometimes cause you extreme heartache or stress? Do you suffer from seasonal allergies or the common cold? Then maybe you should consider Eddie and Webby. Eddie and Webby most likely won't be able to help with any of these symptoms, but Eddie and Webby do provide high-quality pickleball content on YouTube. Rare yet sometimes frequent side effects of tuning into Eddie and Webby may include uncontrollable laughter, severe entertainment, loss of appetite, or a total waste of time. Eddie and Webby may not be right for everybody, but if you like pickleball, Eddie and Webby might be exactly what you're looking for. Oh yeah. And how awesome is that? People are tuning into us and we're playing our own commercial. Isn't that great? Isn't that what people want to see? Commercials for what they're already watching?
That's right. Yes. Thank you for joining us. We're going to be playing a bunch of commercials today. So
right.
You're very welcome.
But yeah, that's it for Twitter. Thanks for all the tweets, everybody. So anybody who wants to send us a tweet, look for us on thetwitter.com. And you might be featured on a future episode. You never know.
You just never know. But you want to know what you do know, Webby?
What do I know?
Well, not you, but everybody out there knows that we have an amazing guest that we're going to be bringing on here shortly. I say we get to that. What do you say?
Yeah, that sounds great to me. Today's guest is a very talented pickleball player who is an up-and-coming superstar in the world of professional pickleball. And if you've ever seen him play, you likely noticed that he's one of the fastest-moving players in the game, and he's very impressive to watch. Most people know him as Gucci Zane. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, Zane Navratil. How's it going, man?
What's going on, guys? Thanks for having me. That ad
thanks for being here.
Was pretty sweet, too. I liked it.
Oh, nice. Thank you. I appreciate that. That was fun to work on. We slapped that together literally in a span of like 3 days. Like we were told, hey, you guys want to do a commercial? We need it in like 3 days. So had to come up with the idea, make it, and all that good stuff. And not too bad for a last-second commercial, I don't think, if I don't toot my own horn enough.
Not bad.
But yeah, this is awesome. I'm super excited to have you here. This is going to be a very fun night. First off, I want to get to a question. I'm sure you've answered this question 100 times by now, but our audience deserves to know why are you called Gucci Zane?
Well, it goes back to my high school sense of humor where I thought I thought that it was funny to rhyme my name with famous rappers. So at one point I had a Twitter and my username was Waka Flocka Zane because that rhymed. And so, of course, the natural progression from that is an Instagram, and, there's Gucci Mane as a rapper. And so I chose Gucci Zane. Regular Gucci Zane was taken, so I had to put an extra C in there. So there's Gucci Zane with 3 C's. And then
nice.
Actually, nobody ever really called me that until, actually Kyle Slinko just texted me like 20 minutes ago. He said, make sure to give me a shout out on the show. And so here it is. He dug up my Instagram, which I hadn't even used hardly. And he's just started calling me Gucci. And for whatever reason, it kind of stuck. So nice. I like it. We owe it all to Kyle Slinko.
Well, thank you, Kyle. That was brilliant. So is there any truth to the rumor that you were given that nickname so people wouldn't confuse you with Zane Affleck? That way there was no confusion which Zane is which?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I think I have a whole host of bad nicknames that I can not be confused with Zane Affleck. So, there's Baby Zane. Now there's Peter Pan as well because I wore leggings once. So yeah, there's plenty of nicknames to keep me from being confused with the other Zane. So
nice. Well, thank you for clearing that up because I know a lot of people may not have known what the meaning was behind that. So I appreciate that. So this next question, this definitely will not come to a surprise to anybody that regularly tunes into this podcast. But the world is dying to know this thing about you, Zane, and that is, what are you drinking tonight?
Yeah, tonight I'm taking a break from the straight Everclear, and I'm going to be going with some Hornitos on the rocks pre-made margarita cocktail. It's pretty good.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
That sounds
So-
very nice.
And just so you guys are well aware, I'm a lightweight, so we might be getting a little toasty on the show. We'll see.
Uh-oh. Eddie, get that dump button ready. I think we're going to probably need it about halfway through the show.
I'm ready for this, man.
Nice. So I'm going to reveal mine if you don't mind, Eddie.
Do it.
So this is by far my favorite seasonal beer here in Michigan. This is made by a local brewery, one of my absolute favorite, Founders Brewing, and this one is called Harvest Ale. This is their wet hopped ale, and man, this stuff is so good. And it's the kind of thing that you want to drink it as fresh as possible. So pretty much right when it comes out, you want to get as much as you can get your hands on and drink it quickly. And it is so delicious, and by far probably one of my top favorite beers of all, but absolutely my favorite seasonal beer. So that is what I will be sipping on. And actually, I'm going to do a little spoiler. I have a second backup beer. This is another seasonal, also made by a Michigan brewer, and I strictly bought this just because of the name. And this is from Beard's Brewery, and it's called D's Nuts.
Oh, I've had that before.
So it sounds pretty good. It says it's a smooth, nutty, caramel flavor and medium-bodied beer. D's Nuts Brown Ale has a hearty addition of oats, balanced out by subtle English varietal hops. Pairs perfectly with pumpkin pie, roast beef, changing leaves, and sweater weather.
So what
about you,
either
Eddie?
one of you ever been there to Beard's Brewery before?
I haven't.
No. It's a good place. You should check it out. My wife and I went there, I don't know, 5-6 years ago maybe. It's a good place.
Very nice. I'll definitely check it out. But what are you going to be sipping on tonight, Eddie?
So it's funny, you have two Michigan beers. I also have a Michigan beer, and this is actually a sour, and I haven't had a sour beer in a long time. My brother-in-law brought it down from Michigan like 2 or 3 years ago, and it's been aging, and I just couldn't resist. It's from Bad Brewing Company. The label's a little messed up because it's been in the fridge for a little while, and I don't know how to pronounce it. Is that Cassiel, or is that an XEL? Is it Castle? I'm not really sure, but it's a sour Belgian golden ale aged with pears. And I opened it earlier because it had a big wax top, and I used my high heel shoe top to keep it on there. So
Nice.
I'm excited to try it out. I haven't had a sour beer in a while, and I've been craving them lately.
Very nice. Well, cheers, gentlemen. This is going to be a very fun night. I know you're not quite ready to cheers your beer yet, Eddie,
That's
but
all right. Here we go.
people get the idea, so that's good.
There it is.
Cheers.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's good stuff. So it's time to get to the nitty gritty here, Zane. Something you've probably also answered a million times, but I don't care. I still want to find out, and I want our audience to find out. How did you first get into pickleball?
Yeah. So I was a good tennis player in high school, and I played a bunch with my dad, and he started playing pickleball a little bit in a rec center in Racine, Wisconsin. And so I was on winter break in 2013, and he dragged me out there to play because I had heard about pickleball, and it had the reputation of it's an old person sport. And I was 18 years old, and I was a brat, and I still am a brat, but that's neither here nor there. But I thought it was going to be dumb. And then he dragged me over there once, and I watched him hit a bunch of dinks with some guys that were older than he was, and I was like, yeah, this is really dumb. I was right. And he got me out there once, and I was like, I didn't understand the dinking. I tried to go out there with a semi-Western tennis grip and just show these guys that dinking was stupid. But they pretty quickly showed me that that dinking did have a purpose, and I got my butt handed to me by some people like 5 times my age, and that really pissed me off. And so I decided I wanted to try and learn the game right. And so actually my dad was playing at a senior center, and I started getting pretty decent at it after only a couple of weeks of playing, because I did have some good background from tennis. And so I started to beat some of these people, and then they enforced the 50 and over rule on me, because it was like in the mornings, it was only time for people 50 and over. And so I was pickleball homeless for like, I don't know, a few months until the summer. So I started playing a little bit more after that. I played college tennis in Wisconsin at Wisconsin Whitewater, and I was always kind of looking forward to my summers where I could play some pickleball. So that's that's the humble origins.
Nice. But I love it. I love the fact that people that like you view it as a stupid game, old person's game. But then once you start playing it, you're like, oh man, this stupid game is actually really, really fun, really good. I love hearing that from people that like go into it with the mindset of just, this is stupid. I'm not even going to like this. I'm wasting my time. And then it just kind of like clicks. And it's like, wow, this sport is amazing. Like, how long did it take for you to like really realize that, like, man, I'm loving this thing. I want to spend as much time as possible playing this game?
Well, the first like week or so was mostly just the game pissing me off because I was losing to these people that were way older than me. And so I was just like, I didn't really like it at first. I was just competitive and I wanted to get good at it. And then once I started getting a little better, I started to enjoy it. But I didn't like it right away. It just pissed me off that I was losing.
Right? Oh man, yeah. There's like nothing feels more embarrassing than to get your ass handed to you by somebody in their 80s, which has happened to me numerous times when I was first learning how to play.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you now? Is that inappropriate?
I'm 25 years old. Yeah, it's okay. You know, people at my clinics ask me that all the time, and you know, it's hard for me not to say like, well, you know, how old are you? But I've learned not to ask that.
Probably smart.
So yeah, I'm 25.
Okay, so at 25 years
Wise
old,
beyond my age.
Oh, for sure, absolutely. But so you're 25 years old. How dedicated to pickleball are you at this point in your life? Like, how much do you play? How much time is devoted to it?
Yeah. Well, I'm all in. So I was an auditor with Deloitte and Touche until July, and I quit my job there to pursue pickleball full time.
Oh,
So
wow.
I mean, I'm teaching as my full time source of income. I'm trying to practice every day. I have to give my buddy Kyle Salenko another shout out because he gets up at 5 o'clock to go hit with me on a gym floor in the YMCA to practice in some mornings. Otherwise, I'll drive down to Crystal Lake, and which is probably an hour and a half from me to go do some drilling. So I'm all in, and there's no way I'd rather spend my time than doing this, right? When I quit my job, I didn't know if I would like teaching and playing pickleball as my job. I kind of saw them as separate things. Pickleball is something I do for fun, and then my job is something that I do as a job. But I'm pretty lucky that I really do enjoy pickleball as a job as well. So, and I like teaching. Never thought I would,
Nice.
but I really do.
That's awesome. And I got to admit, like, I am super jealous of people like you that are young and found the sport at an early enough age to where like you can pretty much devote the peak and like best years of your lives to this game. Like, not gonna lie, it kind of angers me that I didn't find this game till I was almost 40 years old. It annoys me very badly, but no, it's all good. At least I can play this for the next 100 years still, because people well into their 90s are playing this and having a good time. So I still have a good amount of decent years in this sport. So, but yeah, I so badly wish.
Early.
Yeah, I'm still luckier than a lot of people. But I so wish I learned about this game when I was younger, like in my high school days or even early 20s. Like, man, I would be at least a 6-0 now. I probably, maybe not, but one can dream, can't they? So what can we find Gucci Zane doing for fun when he's not playing pickleball?
Well, I like to hike and whatnot, but I like to spend time with my girlfriend and my puppy. At Meant to Be Murray on Instagram. It's not TO, but it's the number 2. So yeah, Meant to Be Murray on Instagram. That takes up probably too much of my time. But it's not only my time, my girlfriend, she does the Instagram stuff too. So, hanging out with him. Let's see. I don't know. Pickleball takes up a lot of my time. I like working for myself, hanging out with friends. I don't really watch much in the way of TV or anything, so I suppose I'm not interesting in that way. But I always stay pretty busy. So sorry, that's not a great answer.
No, it's good. I like
What
it. I
about
like
you?
it.
What about yourself? What about yourself?
So kind of the same thing. Most of my free time when I'm not doing stuff with my family, it's spent on pickleball, doing stuff like podcasts, stuff like that. A lot of video content creating. Now, before pickleball, you could frequently find me on the disc golf course. That was my passion before pickleball, and I still try to get
Okay.
at least a few games in a year. I still love disc golf. It's a great sport, great activity. But once pickleball entered my life, that pretty much it took up a huge amount of free time. So, and I don't complain about it one bit. I'm healthier, I'm happier, and I'm loving it, loving life.
Mm-hmm.
Can't complain.
Awesome.
So
Well,
you've
good stuff.
mentioned Kyle Solenko a couple times, and we actually have a clip that we want to play. And this kind of goes back a
Oh, boy.
little ways. You were on the very first episode of the No Smoke Pickleball show that Kyle co-hosted. I don't know if that's even a show anymore. I haven't seen a new one in quite a while. It might have been canceled, understandably, very understandably. But anyway, so you were on that show, and there's a clip from that I'd like to play right now because I want to discuss it a little bit. So Eddie, let's go ahead and roll that clip.
What is your favorite smell?
Yikes.
Don't think about it. Come on.
All right, fine. My own farts. Next.
Every kind of fart? Are there different varieties, or it's just all of them smell?
Just next question. Next question.
Perfect.
I stand by that 100%. I double down. Nothing's changed.
Okay. Yeah, I wondered because that was a long time ago. A lot has changed since that. That was their very first episode of the No Smoke Show. I know they made a lot of improvements after that first episode. So I just wondered. I know things can change over time, but so the smell of your own farts is still your favorite smell. I see, huh?
And I contend that anybody saying that they don't like the smell of their own farts is a liar. I'm just going to say that. I declare it right here. So.
Yeah, I won't argue.
I like the
I
smell
will
of
not argue with
tires
you.
too, though. I like tires. They smell good. New tires.
What do you got, Eddie? Anything going on your end?
Well, I definitely agree with you that the smell of tires is nice. Gasoline, maybe. Anyway, no, we got some great. We actually got a lot of comments and questions coming in on social media right now, so I wanted to drop in just a few here as we're getting kicked off. This is actually a comment from Patrick Smith, saying trying to train his dog. Trying is key here.
So that was probably in reference to a picture of me in my dog's tiny crate trying to entice him to come in there without much luck. So.
Okay. That's good. I mean, at least you're trying to train. I think most people give up after a while, so stick with that. By the way, how old is your puppy?
He's almost 6 months old. So.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, he's a rascal.
What breed?
We actually don't know. Another reason to follow the Instagram page, because we just got his doggy DNA tested yesterday. So, yeah, we're gonna figure it out. His mom was a rescue. We know he's at least 1/4 Basenji, but man, is he a handful, energetic. Yeah, his favorite food is not dog food, it's underwear. He can sniff out underwear from a mile away. He's like a shark. Like, he can sharks smell water from like 9 miles. He smells underwear from forever away, and he will just eat it. So
that's talent right there. I like that.
Yeah.
All right. We got a question here from Eric Smith, and Eric says, Zane and Altoff are two of the most energetic doubles players I have ever seen. How did they first meet and begin playing together?
I think we met. We met at a tournament probably in the summer of 2018, and Altoff was telling me, like, he was gonna train a decent amount and try to play a lot more and whatnot. And we tried one in Terre Haute, Indiana in January of 2019. I think we lost like 7 points in the entire day together in like 10 matches. And we're like, all right,
Wow.
this worked pretty well. So, yeah, we played together a little bit. And now we really we play pretty well together styles wise. And he plays a little bit more passively and he really locks down his side and he has some of the best hands in pickleball. And then he kind of gives me some space to be, I call it creative. He calls it stupid, but, but yeah, he gives me space to, maybe we can compromise on do my thing. He gives me space to do my thing. So, yeah, we work really well together and we just playing together a lot. We have an understanding of, just what the other person's going to do and whatnot. And yeah, we bring the energy. That's for sure.
I like it.
I still don't chest bump though. That's where I draw the line.
You don't
no chest bumps for me.
Oh, okay. You guys definitely have a lot of energy out there, which is nice. I got to witness it firsthand at the 2019 World Pickleball Championship, which took place just under a year ago. And I got to live stream that event, which was great. But there was one evening, and I don't remember what day, because that tournament spanned over multiple days, and it was long, long days, sometimes 14, 15, 16-hour days. And you were playing in the last match of the evening, and it was you and Altoff against... Do you know what match I'm talking about here?
Oh, absolutely. Are you kidding me? How could I forget that one?
So do you and Altoff against Jay Duvier and Patrick Smith, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you guys had a little gentleman's bet going, and, well, let's just say I have a little clip of what happened after you guys lost that match. I have heard that the losers promised to play butts up pickleball.
Well, okay, can I get a quick rundown, Eddie, of what butts up pickleball is?
Just watch and see.
Okay, for the fans at home, I personally have been in 3 years in this game. I've never seen this before.
So
Hey, how do we commentate this, Eddie?
Well, we got.
They're in the right position.
Oh, wait, is that a redo? Is that a redo? Oh, we need Tyson to be the official.
That was a pretend. Doodle.
That was a swing and a miss.
Explain what's happening here. We've got one team at the kitchen line hitting the ball towards the losing team who is
Oh, no.
who's bending over. And they're bending over towards the kitchen line. They're at the baseline, but they're bending over with their butts towards the net.
That's fatigue right there. He just missed that ball up and over the kitchen.
So the winning team,
that's a 20-foot fence.
Gets to try to hit them.
That's a 20-foot fence he just hit that over. Oh.
And they missed it. They got another shot coming up here.
We got one more chance.
One more.
Come on, Drake.
One more shot. They had 4 shots here.
All right, here we go. Let's see if Jay Duvier
So
can.
the losing team is bending over with their butts towards the net. The winning team is at the kitchen, and they missed.
Oh man, they had 4 chances and they couldn't hit those
That's
butts.
an interesting end to this game.
Man, those guys suck.
Yeah, man, they definitely did not come through. But I got to tell you, that was Scott Golden and Hollywood Hostler on the mic with me when we were live streaming that. And what a way to end the evening. And I remember as that experience was going on, I was like, this is why I love pickleball. Because these guys are out there, they're playing their asses off, and they're incredibly talented. But at the same point, they're not taking this too seriously, and they're keeping that kind of fun spirit of the sport alive. And I think that was a great example of that, and that was hilarious.
Yeah, that was a good time. Those guys are some really close buddies of mine too, and that was another thing we did. It's a college tennis thing. We did it at Whitewater a bunch as a way of. So the thing is, with that match, last match of the night, Altoff and I had just previously lost to Riley and Tyson, I think like 16-14, and had we won that match, we would have been in the playoffs. So it was a total adrenaline dump afterwards, right? Because both Jay and Pat and Altoff and I were eliminated. So we were like, well, we might as well play this match for something. And so it was butts up. But I think Pat Smith's whiff says it all.
For sure.
Yeah, that was a good time.
Yep.
I think pickleball needs more butts up.
I agree with you. And we were challenged by Platform Files, the guys that made that Dink These Balls in your kitchen, to play butts up if we ever go to the Chicago area. So, Webby, you ready for that?
I'm ready. I'm definitely ready.
Let's do it. I want to thank everybody out there on social media. Keep posting those comments and questions, and we'll try and get to them. But back to you, Webby.
All right. Well, thank you, Eddie. That was awesome. So Zane, I've been loving asking you questions here, but I think people would like it a lot more if other people asked you some questions, especially some peers and friends and other fellow professional pickleball players. So I say right now is a great time to get to one of the hottest segments in all of pickleball podcasting, and it's time for another installment of Pros Asking Pros questions. And yes, you're definitely going to need to pour more of that drink. Probably more. Keep pouring. So yeah, buckle up and get ready, because this is going to be a bumpy ride. And this first question comes from somebody that I would say is probably one of the most well-known people in all of pickleball. And he's also a very good friend of Zane's. Here's a question from Dave, the Badger Weinbach.
I'm curious, Zane, how did you get the nickname Elastigirl?
Oh, God. I play with Dave all the time in Madison. And, Elastigirl is one of those nicknames that I left out. I prefer Gumby, because I'm kind of like, I'm lanky and I can get to stuff and I'm pretty flexible. But yeah, I don't know how Dave just one day started calling me Elastigirl, and that was some original material from him, which was great. So yeah, that's how I got the nickname Elastigirl too. It's named after there's an Incredibles movie character named Elastigirl. So very flexible.
Nice. Well, that's not the only question we have from Dave. Let's go with question number 2.
My second question is, how many miles did you put on your car on trips from Whitewater, Wisconsin to Garner Park in Madison over the last 2 or 3 years?
You gave him 2 questions. He's all about the airtime. He's all over this. No, I'm just kidding. So when I was in school at Whitewater, I was in grad school. I was finishing up my education after tennis. And so that year, after tennis, I've probably averaged 25,000 miles per year on cars. And then this year, I'm actually averaging more. I got a new car in March, and I'm already at like 20,000 miles on it since I've gotten it. So I drive a lot. Anybody who owns a car dealership, hit me up for a sponsorship. It'll be a bad investment, but it would be great for me.
Nice. Well, it's funny that you said Dave likes airtime, because that wasn't it. Let's go with question number 3.
And the third most important question is, at Daba Indian Bistro, do you prefer korma sauce, tikka masala, or vindaloo?
That's probably got to be the toughest question that's going to come on today's interview. But basically, when we go to Daba, which is an Indian restaurant in Madison, we go there when Altoff comes to town to play. Altoff will fly in, play with us for a couple days. And the answer to that question is whatever Altoff orders me. We just give Altoff the menu. Nobody else even looks. Altoff just tells us what to order. He's like, we're getting this, and that. And whatever Altoff tells me, I just eat it, ask questions later. And it's always really good. So I do love some chicken tikka masala, though. Oof, that is good.
Oh, man, that does sound good. I'm hungry. I'm very hungry right now. But thank you, Dave. And I feel like you should feel honored, Zane, because that is the very first time that Dave has ever sent us a question for the Pros Asking Pros question segment. So I feel like that's a big honor there for us to get one from him there. So thanks again, Dave. This next question comes from Yeah, definitely. This next question comes from another very talented and very tough pro pickleball player. Here's one from the Winter Soldier, aka
Oh
Pat
boy.
Smith.
Hey Zane, great year, man. Absolute pleasure playing you this year. Got a question for you though. I know that you're training Murray still quite a bit. I think he's he's a little too smart for you though, because for some reason, isn't he the one supposed to be in a kennel and not you? So, how's that going? That's my first question. The second one is, since I have a bummed left ankle now, and can't play, I remember you telling me in Cincinnati that, you went hiking and rolled your ankle. I just wanted to see how your ankle is doing. Okay, man. Have a good one. See you later.
Well, there are certain things I can talk about, and then certain things I can't talk about if I ever want to get sponsored again. So I won't talk about how I rolled my ankle hiking in Utah. But there are pictures of my ankle circulating around the pro tour, so you can ask Pat about that. And yeah, I think honestly Murray's more so training Jenny and I than anything else. So yeah, I have no good training's not going that well. We're not very good at it, and he is definitely too smart for us.
Nice. Well, it's funny that Murray got brought up because this next question actually comes from not one but two people, and that is Murray and Jenny.
I'll translate. Murray and I have a question for you. Who do you love more? Murray or pickleball?
Ooh,
That's a great question. That's a tough one.
that's a no comment.
All right. Yeah, I
I
feel like
guess
that'd be
pickleball
very...
is, it's such a okay. Jenny, we're gonna talk about this later, but that's too tough of a question, right? Murray is. I love Murray. He's my dog, but pickleball is not like a person. I love pickleball too. So I know that's a terrible answer, but there's no good answer. So I don't know.
Sounds like a
Equally.
cop-out.
That's a total cop out. There's no
Definitely a cop out. Yep.
There's no hiding that. Well, okay, Webby, who do you love more, your mom or your dad?
I mean, I feel like it's different because you're talking about a living creature in a game. I feel like you can't compare the two.
Okay, well, you didn't answer my question. That was a cop-out answer if I've ever heard one. That was a cop-out.
Hey, I'm not in the hot seat here. Nobody cares about what I think.
I like how you picked on Webby for that when I was the one who made the comment.
Right? But
you guys didn't explain who's Eddie, not Webby, Webby, not Eddie. So how am I supposed to know?
That's right. But man, this is a groundbreaking episode. A very animal-friendly episode too, because not only was that the first question from a dog, but we previously had the first question from a badger. I mean, man, this is wild. A wild and crazy episode already. But we got a lot more to get to. So here's a question from another great and super fast-moving singles player in pickleball. Here's one from Frank Anthony Davis.
Hey, Eddie and Webby. Hope you guys are doing well. Looking forward to see you guys in 2021. So, Zane, I got a question for you. What things are your favorite about playing singles that you don't get out of playing doubles? And conversely, what are your favorite things out of doubles that you don't get out of singles? Hope you're doing well, man. Congrats on a great finish to this year. Hope to see you soon.
That's a good question. I guess I have a question back. Like, where is he right now? What can we? Is there a way to roll that again? Is he in Is he building a house right now? Did anyone see that? Anybody else see that?
Looked like he was building a house. Like it looked like maybe adding some insulation to the upper part of a house, or just build.
Hey, Eddie and Webby. Hope you guys are doing well.
So singles, I like to run around. That's what I like about singles. Sometimes I feel like I don't get enough running around in doubles, although I definitely try. So yeah, I like the movement. I like how I can get kind of a cardio workout out of pickleball. I can feel like I'm breathing hard, and I like that. I like that it's kind of just me on the court, and if I lose, I only have myself to blame, and if I win, I get all the credit, right? Instead of having to give Altoff all the credit. And so what I like about doubles is I do think that doubles is just kind of a better game because you can have longer points. You can be a little bit more creative. You get into the fast hand exchanges. So I don't know. I like both of them. Singles is very grindy. It's physically difficult, but I don't mind it. I like to run around, like I said. So, and then obviously that question comes from Fad, who loves to run around more than anybody else probably. And so that guy is affectionately the most annoying person to play against, right? Because he just tracks everything down, and that's what makes him an awesome singles player. So Frank, I wish he kind of hurt himself recently. I hope he has a speedy recovery and see him soon too. Come out strong for 2021.
Yeah, for sure. I love watching Frank play, as well as Zane. You guys are both two of my favorite singles players to watch play. You guys are very, very fast, very entertaining to watch. And Eddie, can we put that comment back down there from Rob Noonan? That was a good one. He said, if it comes back on the screen, hey, Gucci, what you on next week? The Tonight Show? That's a great question because I feel like that's the natural progression. That's really the only next step up from the Eddie and Webby show is something like the Tonight Show. So that was a great question, Rob.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. This is more interviews than I've done in forever. So, I mean, I might go back into hiding after this. Ellen. I would love to do Ellen, though. Ellen or Oprah, maybe. Oprah. I bet I would do well on Oprah.
Okay. Ellen's actually a pickleball player. I don't know if you're aware of that, but she's known to be a pickleball player. So that could be a great show. I actually I reached out to Ellen shortly after we created the Pickleball Anthem rap video. I sent that to Ellen in a direct message on Facebook, but she never responded. So I don't know. Maybe the rumors are true. Maybe she is an evil person because she did not respond to my direct message. Sorry, Ellen. Just kidding. Just kidding, Ellen. Just kidding, Ellen. You're not evil. You're awesome. But anyway, so let's move on. This next question comes from another great friend of ours in the world of pickleball. This one comes from Andrea Coop.
Hey, Zane. You know I'm a big UCLA fan. Go Bruins. I cheer them on any chance I get. Do you have any school spirit for Wisconsin Whitewater like that, or do you cheer on another program in your state or elsewhere? Tell us about it. Thanks.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm definitely partial to whitewater tennis. I had a ton of fun there when I was playing. I've got to get back and try and get to some matches this year. When I was done with my undergrad, I was in grad school and I coached the team a little bit, and that was a lot of fun. I mean, I was just I was a volunteer coach, but I really enjoyed it. And Whitewater's not too far from me; it's only about an hour away, so I've definitely got some Warhawk spirit. But yeah, that's about it. I like my Warhawks. I like the team. And other than that, I have no allegiances.
All right. Thanks for the question, Andrea. So hopefully I don't butcher the name of this next person, but here's a question from the very talented Jay DeVilliers.
Hey, my friend. So my question to you today is, what annoys you the most in general? Because you always look happy and always positive, so I was wondering.
Ooh, what annoys you the most?
Oh, okay. Well, recently, this is totally off. Well, I don't know if it's off topic, but recently I've been flying a lot, going to a bunch of tournaments. And what really annoys me is when we're on an airplane, right? And we're sardined in there, right? Like it's a full flight, shoulder to shoulder, and we're deplaning. Everyone's grabbing their bags, and over the radio, you hear, please don't congregate in the aisles to promote social distancing. And I'm like, well, we're all just in here in this plane. What difference does it make if we're standing in the aisle or if we're sitting shoulder to shoulder next to somebody? So anyway, that's been pissing me off lately. But that's pretty much all I have to complain about in life.
Well, it's a known fact if you're standing, you make more germs spew out of your body than if you're sitting. It's just a known fact, Zane. I'm surprised you didn't know that. But
Okay.
anyways.
Well, I feel more educated now. I do feel more educated now. Enlightened,
and that's
educated.
Why, yeah, there you go. That's why people
what
tune into the Eddie and Webby show.
Yeah, that's what it's all about here.
Preach.
All right, I'm curious. What I think I want to throw that question back at you guys because that took me off guard. What annoys you guys?
I got an answer. It's when guests ask me questions when we're supposed to be asking the guests questions. I mean, come on.
I just need to make sure that you guys are on your toes. So.
No, I like it. I like it. It's a good strategy.
Falling asleep back there. I
right?
haven't heard
yeah,
anything
Eddie's
from
got the easy job. Eddie's got the easy job here. He's just drinking and watching.
There are things that do annoy me about travel specifically, and that one doesn't annoy me so much as if I have a drink, I can take my mask off rule, but I don't. It just seems like a weird rule. It's like, well, like, is there an appropriate time for how long I need to, like, I can drink for? It's like, do I take a sip and immediately put it back on? It's like, I understand that they're just trying to take precautions, but that rule seems kind of annoying. Like, I felt the need to, like, take little sips and eat little snacks the entire time I was on the plane just so I could not want to suffocate in my seat. So that annoyed me.
All right. I gotta confess something though. I talked about how Eddie is just doing nothing. If it wasn't for Eddie, this show wouldn't be running right now. So I can't. I gotta clear that up because Eddie is running this whole entire show and producing it. I just show up and ask questions. So I gotta clear that up. So Eddie, you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
But this next question comes from a good friend of ours and a super nice guy in the world of pickleball. Here's one from the one and only Deckel Bar.
Hey Zane, congrats on finally turning 18 a few days ago. I have a couple questions for you. One is, what is your favorite moment of Altoff on court with him? And the second is, how many games of singles does it take you to finally break a sweat?
My 18th birthday was pretty exciting. I turned, to be honest, I turned 25 about a week and a half ago, and I was way more excited about that. Because now when I go to get a rental car, they don't just destroy me with, $30 extra per day. So I was more excited about that than I was my 21st birthday, but I'm an old soul. So Deckel, what's my favorite moment with Altoff? I would have to direct you to the hip thrusting video that Kyle Salenko put out the other day. Of Altoff just like thrusting frequently. Anytime Altoff thrusts on the court, I know we're in a good spot. So that's great. I love that. And then how many games of singles does it take me to break a sweat? I don't know. I guess I don't really sweat that much. It doesn't mean that I'm not running around, but yeah, I mean, not everybody sweats a ton, so I don't have a good answer to that one.
All right, well, thanks for the question, Deckel. I wish we had the video you're talking about. I don't think I've seen that video, the one of Altoff doing the thrusting, but that sounds amazing.
Oh yeah.
So. Oh, that's
yeah,
awesome.
that would be something else. You'll have to check on that one later.
Nice. So before we get to the next question, I actually want to put a photo up on the screen.
Oh God.
And it's a photo of you with a good buddy of yours. And Eddie, I don't know if you have the photo. There it is. If you look at the caption, this is from a website. I was doing research on you, and the caption says, Zane Navratil, on the right, poses with a pickleball doubles partner, Brian Ashworth of Oregon. So this must have been a while ago because that Brian looks a lot different in that photo than what I'm used to him looking like. His beard definitely wasn't as long as it is now, but we actually have a question from the man alongside Zane in that photo. So here's a question from Brian Ashworth.
Brian?
Hi guys, Brian the Hair Trashworth here. Just playing with you. Kyle Salenko. Some of you guys may know me as the live streamer for the APP tour. Make sure you check out the YouTube page. Subscribe. Gucci, this question's for you. As many people may know, you play with Altoff Merchant a lot. And Altoff has a lot of good sayings, but he's always yelling at you to not get bullied on the line. And, well, we all know you have like little scrawny, piddly arms, so we know why you're getting bullied. But what player you think bullies you the most at the kitchen line?
Wow, what a shameless plug. Can you believe that? I can't believe you guys let this happen on your show. What is this?
Right?
Like, is your show just a walking advertisement? This is ridiculous. You guys need
Pretty
to have
much, yeah.
some standards.
Right. And I apologize to everybody that was actually hoping for a question from Brian Ashworth. That was not Brian Ashworth. We realized that was not Brian Ashworth. So get that out of your heads right now.
So, also, I'd like to address the scrawny arms. Anybody that follows me on Instagram, again, I actually just posted something today that disproves this scrawny arms type of thing. I did my best Pat Smith impersonation and rolled up the you know what? I'll take it off. Hold on, give me a second here.
All right, here we go. Zane is going to show us his imitation of Pat Smith here.
So I did a Pat Smith impersonation, and I rolled up the. Come on, you can't. These are at least like 26-inch biceps. I mean, give or take. It depends on the day and whether I've gotten my pump in or not. But you can't do me like that, Kyle. So don't get bullied on the line. Who bullies me on the line? Let's see. I always feel like if I'm playing against Matt Wright, I'm always just like wrong-footed. He has a way of making me look stupid. So he maybe bullies me on the line. I don't know if that's what Altoff talks about. Yeah, I feel like he like makes me look dumb. So to answer that question, I'd say Matt maybe. Ben makes everybody look dumb, so that's not a great answer. But
right? Yeah, he really does. Yeah. All right, well, that's not the only question we have from Kyle Solenko. So here's question number 2.
Secondly, you've also played with Jeff Warnick. Who has better celebrations, Jeff Warnick or Altoff Merchant? And could you show us some?
Well, yeah, I've played with Jeff once, and we're gonna play a decent amount more. I love playing with Jeff. I think he's hilarious. Who has better celebrations? They're just different, right? And so that's another cop-out answer, maybe, but that's the truth. I really don't think you can say that one is better. I mean, Altoff's got a hip thrust. I mean, how can you beat a hip thrust? But I mean, you can hear Jeff Warnick from a mile away, right? And so, there's no good answer to that. I'd say it's entertaining watching Jeff. He's just so loud, right? Like, so when we were playing Ben and Matt, Jeff ernied Matt, and he was very, very close to the line, and so Matt was going right at the referee. He's like, he was on line. He's like this far away from the referee, right? Jeff, of course, just ernied. So Jeff is on the other side of the referee, like this far away. Matt's yelling, he's on line. Jeff's just like, no, you just gotta think better, be better. And so there's no comparison. They're both great. If Jeff added hip thrusting to his repertoire of celebrations, I'd have to give him the edge, but I haven't seen it out of him yet. Maybe that's only because I've only played with him once, but you know, I don't have a good answer for that, Eddie. I'm sorry.
Now he did ask if you could show us your favorite from them. Is there anything you can demonstrate here live on the air?
Well, I mean, we all know what a hip thrust is, right? I mean, Altoff does a lot of this. I'll give you this. After a point, he'll go something like this.
Here we go. The Altoff hip thrust. That's pretty good. That's good. I've seen that. I've seen that Altoff hip thrust. What about you, Eddie?
Yep. Oh yeah, I've seen it many times.
Nicely done. Nicely
I
done.
think he must have a very flexible lower back, because he gets some good depth on that hip thrust. And there's some knee bend in there too. Jeff doesn't have anything quite as iconic as that, especially now that you're not allowed to yell body bag anymore. So
Nice. Well, thanks for the questions, Kyle. Those were great. What do you got going on your end, Eddie?
I just have one Facebook question that I wanted to throw up here, and this is from John Hassanorl. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Or Josh, I'm sorry. Josh Hassanorl. I believe I'm pronouncing that right. Josh, forgive me if I'm not. But he wants to know, who throws the paddle better, you or Jeff? I've seen footage of both throws.
I mean, Jeff's is pretty iconic, right? I don't know if everybody's seen the YouTube video.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I don't actually do it out of anger. I did it kind of screwing around, because where we play in Waukesha, Wisconsin, there is a huge field behind it. And so every once in a while, if we lose a rec game, I will just I'll launch my paddle about as far as it goes. I get some pretty good depth on them. You know, if you do it right, it's kind of like a frisbee effect. And I think Jeff's, I don't know if he has like the form down, because it looked to me like his toss was a little bit more end over end, which, you know, it's kind of like throwing a football versus a frisbee. His looked kind of like a football toss, which isn't what you need in a paddle toss. So respectfully, I think I have to give myself the edge on the paddle toss. I've just got the better form. So I've never actually done it in a match, just screwing around in it. And the nice part is, if you toss it into a field and you get enough distance on it, it actually it lands very softly like a frisbee. So it doesn't even damage the paddle. It's all in fun.
Nice. And I'll admit, ever since I saw the infamous Jeff Warnick paddle tossing video, something I started doing, like when I get really pissed at myself, like I'll act like I'm going to throw it. Like I'll take a few steps, I'll run, I'll like act like I'm chucking my paddle, but I won't actually throw it. But like just something about that motion makes me feel better. Like it really does help. Like it helps me get a little bit of my aggravation out. People think I'm going to throw it, so like sometimes people will gasp, but I don't actually throw it. So I feel like the reaction I get from other people, that kind of helps me get through what I'm going through when I'm mad at myself. So thank you, Jeff, for that. It's because of you that I do that, and it does make me feel better. Yeah. I've never actually thrown
anything
the paddle,
for
though.
attention, Webby. Anything for attention, I suppose.
Right. So speaking of Jeff Warnick, unfortunately, we don't have a video for you from Jeff, but he did want us to ask you something, and he wants to know, when are you going to tuck your shirt in for Altoff?
Yeah, that's just another thing I don't do. I don't think I'm going to do it. No chest bumps, no tucking. I have this isn't the country club. We're out there playing pickleball. I'll do it ironically, maybe. Just to make fun of Altoff, but I don't see it in my future.
All right. Gotcha.
Maybe me and Jeff will do it sometime. When we play, we're playing in Newport in a couple of weeks. Maybe we'll tuck the shirts in. But, if you're going to tuck the shirt in, the thing is, you need a collared shirt, right? If you're going to do the Altoff Merchant, you need a collared shirt and some short shorts. So, it's a whole package ththing. If you're going to do it, you got to do it right.
Oh, for sure. Like, if you tuck in a t-shirt, like that's just not right. It's not natural. And it won't work. It's got to be the collared shirt, 100%.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm glad that you get that.
I do. I definitely get that. So we've had a few people mention Altoff now. So I think now is a perfect time to hear from the man himself. And here's a question from the one and only Altoff Merchant.
Hey, Zane. What's up, man? Hey, doubles is all about communicating. So I got this question for you. We're gonna be playing 15, 16 tournaments next year. And I just want to make sure you and I get our communication right. So I just want you to know, like this right here, right? When you're dinking, you're there and I'm here. You see this line? This is my side, right? That is your side. So I just need you to tell me Do you want me to remind you via text message, instant message, WhatsApp, no app, this app, that app, call you, give you like notes? How do you want me to communicate to you in 2021 that this side is my side and that side is your side? Now, singles is on Thursday, mixed doubles is on Sunday. But when you play with me on Saturday, men's doubles, this side is my side. That side is your side. So let me know, and I look forward to playing with you next year. Happy New Year.
So I don't know if Altoff has hit his second growth spurt or whatever, but once his arms reach past his waist, then I'll stop taking balls from his side. That's it.
Nice.
That's it. No, it's I don't know. I go over every once in a while. I screw. Like I said, I call it being creative. He calls it being stupid. Maybe that's something we should communicate about. So, but yeah, text works fine.
All right, there you go, Altoff. Send a text message and you'll be all good. So from what I understand, you were actually on the Paddle Geek show, Brandon Swanson's show earlier this week, and you mentioned something about Glenn Lucy. I know a lot of people are very familiar with the infamous Glenn Lucy, and you said that Glenn Lucy's forehand couldn't break an egg. So Glenn actually sent us a video clip. He wants us to play this video and ask you how you explain what happens in this video. So I'm assuming because he had that nice forehand, I feel like he feels that probably could have broken an egg. So I think he wants you to explain like how he could have done that if his forehand is so bad.
I'm honestly so surprised that Glenn didn't cut a video of him actually hitting a forehand into like a carton of eggs. As soon as you started asking that question, that's exactly what my mind went to. And that video is clearly staged and photoshopped and fake. It's fake. It's fake. So that's all I have to say.
What do you think of that? What do you think of that, Glenn? He doesn't even think that's a real video. So, but that's not all we have from Glenn. In fact, that was a very softball thing that Glenn sent us compared to what we're about to play.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
He was very adamant that we play this video because it's kind of a bombshell of a video. I'll warn you right now, it's a little on the controversial side. I wasn't even sure if we should play this clip. Hopefully we don't regret it, but here is a special message to you from Glenn Lucy.
Hi, Zane, my boy. This is really more of a statement than a question, a revelation, if you will. Well, your mother and I, Dimple as I call her, a long time ago, on a warm summer's evening, gave in to temptation. And 9 months later, out came little Zane. And that's why you're so good at pickleball. I love you, son.
I have nothing to say to that other than I think you should have Glenn Lucy on your show and see how he gets ripped. I think you'd have some great pros asking. I don't know if you could call it pros asking pros. You could call it pros asking Glenn Lucy. But yeah, I think you could have some good content there.
But like, how are you feeling after seeing that? I mean, are you okay, or how is everything?
I think Glenn's funny. That was just kind of weird, but I didn't really know what else to expect from Glenn. Like you said, it was a little bit more of a statement than a question, but
right,
And
to be honest, I feel like we need to get the social media fact checkers to investigate Glenn. I feel like that's something that Twitter would probably flag as possible misinformation. So take that for what it was worth. But Eddie, I understand you have some breaking news here. Is that right?
Well, there's two things. First of all, I did fact check it. Fake news. So we're good there. That has been deemed fake news from Glenn Lucy. The second thing that I wanted to bring up is Kyle Salenko reached out and he found said video of Altoff that we've been talking about here a lot tonight. And so I feel like I should just go ahead and roll it.
Change here in a minute, but they got to get something going.
Mm-hmm. His 992, guys. He was sitting on that. Oh, my God. Altoff almost knelt on the ground.
No, look. Did you see that?
He just, like, closed his eyes and prayed.
That was a lip.
He literally just flexed on him. Literally just flexed. Todd Strasser watching says, after that flex, maybe Altoff's move could be named the Arnold. I added the accent. The Arnold.
Folks, we only took 2 hours to have Lauren do accents today.
Wow. Should Steve have... Whew. I thought Altoff left. Oh, well. Deacon tried a tweener. Look at... Oh, man, that was like a...
Look at him.
He's talking to us.
No, he is.
Daniela Niss says, if we called it the Arnold, that would make Altoff the Merchinator.
Oh, gosh, Daniela.
Oh, my...
We had to cut a little bit out.
That video is too good.
Yeah, there's over 3 minutes of that, so we just played a little glimpse into that there. But yeah, that was pretty incredible there.
I love it. So the first time I ever saw Altoff play in person was earlier this year at the Florida Grand Slam tournament in Florida, Simone's tournament. And yeah, he's very energetic, very charismatic. It's very fun to watch him play. He teamed up with Dave Weinbach, and that was a very interesting duo. Very loud, a lot of grunting was going on, but very entertaining, that's for sure.
The grunting is one thing. I can understand the grunting. But every once in a while, I would call it more of a moan than a grunt. Like when he grunts on dinks, it's kind of like a moan. And I don't know if moaning has a place in pickleball. Grunting is one thing, but moaning is another. But, whatever. Who am I? Who am I to say?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like the moaning sometimes gets a little uncomfortable, a little bit, but but that was great stuff. Thanks for sending that video, Kyle. That was awesome. So we have another question here from another very well-known pro, a very good friend of ours, one of our favorite people in the world of pickleball, and this one comes from Irina Tereshchenko.
Hey, Eddie and Webby. Hey, Zane. Irina Tereshchenko is here. How are you guys doing? I hope you're ready for the holidays. Zane, I know you have a real job, so maybe tell us a little bit about it, and also tell us how do you manage your time between work and pickleball? Do you have any vacation days left, or you spend pretty much all of them on pickleball tournaments? Thank you. Bye.
So I know you said you actually recently quit your full-time job, but I think that's still a great question because a lot of people would like to know, like, before you quit your full-time job, like how did you manage your time between the pickleball scene and work life?
Yeah, so I only made it like 10 months in the corporate world. I was working for Deloitte & Touche as a financial statement auditor. I like numbers and stuff. I like the business side of things. That still interests me. And so the way in public accounting, when you are on a client that has your viewership is about to go way down, by the way, just so you know. But so in public accounting, when you have a client that has a a financial year end, you end up working some pretty long hours. And I was on 3 straight 3-month financial year ends. So I was pretty much working about 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. for most of my time at Deloitte, and sometimes more. But what got me through it was being able to play with Kyle Salenko. I would get home. I had a 45-minute commute as well, so I would get home usually not before 9 o'clock at night from work. A lot of times after 10 o'clock, and he and I would go to play pickleball in the winter on a gym floor at the YMCA. I would wake up at 4:45 to play. I would go there. We would play from 5:30 in the morning till about 6:45, and then I'd go to work. And so that's how I managed it. I only played, I think, 2 tournaments in the time I was at Deloitte. But yeah, now I'm on my own time, and I set my own schedule and whatnot. And vacation days just mean Zane not getting paid days now. So yeah, no vacation days anymore. But I like being my own boss and whatnot. And honestly, I was probably a terrible employee. I like working for myself, and I think I do a better job when I am working for myself. So
Nice. Yeah, it definitely takes a lot of courage to take the plunge like you did. So definitely the best of luck to you. Hope everything goes well for you. But I mean, with how good of a player you are, I'm sure tons of people are definitely loving getting clinics and training from you. So I think you've got a very bright future ahead of you in the world of pro pickleball. That's for sure. For what it's worth, coming from me.
If I wasn't this dark in complexion, I'd be blushing.
Nice. Well, this next question comes from a good friend of yours and somebody that's very well known in the world of pickleball, and that is Neil Friedenberg.
Hey Zane, I hope you're doing well. I have a couple questions for you for the Eddie and Webby show. Number one relates to your tennis career. You came from a very successful tennis career in high school and Division III college. You now are on the tour facing Division I tennis players, professional athletes, professional tennis players. Why do you feel that you successfully compete against them so well?
I don't know. I've never really been, even in tennis, I was never really, I feel like that talented. I kind of grind at stuff. Like I get obsessed with things. I have kind of an all-in personality. So when it came to tennis, I wasn't really that talented, but I worked really hard at it, and I did pretty well. And school, I'm not that smart, but I feel like I outworked the other people at my school, and I became an academic All-American, which is kind of cool. And maybe pickleball is the same deal. I really like it, and I want to devote a lot of time and effort to it. And I feel like something that's always kind of distinguished me from others is just the willingness to do what other people might not be. Today I woke up at 4:45 in the morning to go drive an hour and a half to train with my buddy John. And I feel like, maybe not everybody's going to do that. So I'm willing to do the little things, the behind the scenes stuff. And I think that's what helps. So.
That's a great answer. Obviously, you have a sense of humility to you, which is nice and appreciated from a spectator perspective. But it's nice to see your talents come to fruition out on the court. And I don't think it goes unnoticed how much work you definitely put into it.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Now that I built you up, we got a picture submitted to us.
Yeah, time to knock me down.
Yeah, we got a picture submitted to us from our friend Michelle Cook, and this is from the Cincinnati APP event that she took. And before we get to Neil Friedenberg's next question, I'm hoping you can answer what's going on here.
Oh boy. So yeah, that was in a that's great. That's a good picture. That was in I think either the gold medal match or the winner's bracket final, Steve Deacon just drilled me in the nuts. And it wasn't malicious or anything. It was just a great – I mean, and that's, props to him for hitting a small target, because that's not easy to do. He's very accurate. But, yeah, he drilled me in the nuts. And obviously, as you can see, I was kind of down for the count for a little bit. And my referee buddy, Bob Swisshelm, was like, Zane, you got to get up. And I was like, well, can you give me a sec? And he's like, well, are you taking a timeout? And I was like, well, what about a medical timeout? And he said, are you going to take one? I was like, well, if this isn't worthy of a medical timeout, I don't know what is, Bob. Yeah. And so he's like, well, if we do take a medical timeout, we have to get the doctor, the trainer, everybody out here. And so I said, while I'm down there, I say, well, Bob, what is the doctor going to tell me? Stop getting hit in the nuts? I know that. Just give me 30 seconds, Bob. But that guy is, he's a stickler for the rules, and I respect that about him. So I took a regular timeout. These nuts.
It's perfect timing. I just
stuff.
cracked open my second beer of the night. D's Nuts from Beards Brewing. So, cheers.
Next time I'm on the court with Bob, I'm gonna hit a shot into his nuts and see how he likes it, and see whether he wants just an extra 15 seconds to regain his composure.
You should be like, you want a medical timeout or what? We got to get a doctor over here. Come on. What the heck, man?
Exactly.
Nice. Well, that was question 1 from Neil Friedenberg. Now it's time for question number 2.
And number 2, I have it in front of me, kind of have to read it. Just want to make sure I get everything. You're a very bright scholar in college, graduating high in your class, and took a great job directly out of college. You made a very tough choice to move to pickleball and compete on the tour. How has that affected your family, your girlfriend, and what are your goals in the long term when the pickleball run as a pro comes to an end? Will you go back to your old job and your degree, or will you, go forward with pickleball teaching and grinding out there? Take care. Hope you're doing well. Much love to the family, and have fun.
Well, I gotta say just a thing about Neil really quickly. So, my first ever sponsorship was with ProLite, and Neil is the owner of ProLite, and I will forever be kind of thankful for what Neil did for me and sponsoring me. And even though ProLite's kind of taken a different business model, they're not really sponsoring the top pro players, which I can understand. But I'm still really coming from tennis. To me, it's super cool to get some tournaments paid for, get some free stuff. That's so cool to me. So I'm forever thankful to Neil and ProLite, and I always wish them the best. That's super cool what they did for me, and I'm thankful. And Neil's a great guy, runs a great company. So I'm probably gonna forget everything that he said or whatever. But so the transition has been good. My family kind of understood that this is a once in a lifetime opportunity, right? I can't go back and try and play pro pickleball when I'm 40 years old. And I left my job on good terms, right? They understood the same thing. This is a time sensitive opportunity. You can only be a high level athlete for a limited amount of time. And the thing is, I still enjoy a lot about the business side of things, which maybe not everybody does. I studied business in school, and I enjoy it. I like thinking about it, all that type of stuff. So I think, as with all professional athletes, my time as a player is going to be limited. However, I have a genuine interest in the business side of things. And so I like being approached frequently with opportunities. Most of them are things that I don't pursue, but I like to think about all of them. So I see myself eventually getting involved with the business side of pickleball after my or during my playing time. So And I probably so one other question. There was how has my family been taking it? It hasn't been particularly easy. Leaving my girlfriend Jenny to go on trips and leaving my puppy Murray at Meant to Be Murray on Instagram. But they've been supportive of it. It's a pretty unique opportunity, and I think they see that too. So, and I have time to, at least now I have the flexibility to say, I need to be home on a Monday afternoon for something that's important. And I can cut out time from my schedule to do that instead of having to ask somebody else's, my boss's permission to do that. So I think they all kind of see that it's a pretty cool, risky opportunity to be your own boss. But I think it's worth it for me. So.
Awesome. Yeah, that's a great answer. That was a great question, Neil. Thank you very much for that. This next question comes from a true legend in the sport of pickleball and a great friend of ours. Here's one from Steve Peranto.
Hey Zane, Steve Peranto here. We don't know each other super well, but we did meet last year at Nationals. We're both Onyx players, and we were at the Onyx dinner. And I had a great time meeting you. You've got a great reputation. I was impressed that we have this great new talented player, and you're fairly recently out of college, and you had a real professional job, and you were balancing the two, pickleball and your job. And it sounds like maybe you've gone more toward pickleball. So my first question is, that must have been a tough decision. How did you come up with that decision?
Oh, that's a tough question. Well, I have to give a lot of props to Cassandra Gerke. She was, pretty instrumental in helping me make the decision. She let me know how well she does with lessons and clinics, and that what I was worried about was the stability of things, especially quitting my job during COVID, right? I had no idea whether people would take lessons or sign up for clinics, and luckily they have. People have come out in droves. And Cassandra kind of told me about that, and so that was kind of what was holding me back from initially making the decision to do it. That's basically it. She helped me with kind of starting out and whatnot, and yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, that was a very deep question. Can I just point out, like, how awesome are the questions we're getting today? We've got such a range of emotions. We've had some like super funny and off the wall questions, but then we've got some super deep, meaningful questions. I love it. I love this segment. I don't know about you guys, but I'm loving every second of it.
This is awful. When are we done?
We still got a ways to go, my friend. No. We are.
I'm enjoying it. No, you're right. This is pretty cool. We have some nice roasts and then some serious questions sprinkled in, right? So this is good.
We can't let you get too big of a head leaving the show. We got to knock you down.
Exactly. But I can
build them up,
just rest assured. Just rest assured, we've got some more like deep, meaningful questions, but then we've got some that are in the gutter. So don't worry. So let's.
You
let's
guys
go.
haven't gotten to Cassandra yet. You haven't gotten to Cassandra. I can only imagine that I'm just gonna get destroyed by her. So she's probably got another statement. Like, she probably said the same thing Glenn Lucy did. 9 months ago, I banged your mom, and then you came out. So that's probably the same exact thing that Cassandra said.
You never know. You just never know. You got to stay tuned till the end to find out what's going to happen. So that was question one from Steve Peranto, but we do actually have another great question from Steve. So let's go ahead and play that one now.
Second thing, you haven't played pickleball all that long. How did you choose your Onyx paddle? We have a lot of choices in paddles. How did you choose yours? What were you looking for? And also, I want to know, have you ever experimented with adding perimeter weighting on your paddle? I've tried to convince, and I have convinced quite a few players to do that. Want to know if you've ever experimented with that. And also with paddles, since you're a singles player and a doubles player, do you modify your single paddle at all, or use the same paddle for singles and doubles?
Yeah, so that is a good question. I used the Evoke Pro when I first came to Onyx, but I had tried the Evoke Premier. The Evoke Premier had not been out for sale at the time that I was switching over to Onyx. I liked that because it felt kind of like a tennis racket to me. It's 16 inches long, and there's enough room to put my second hand on my two-handed backhand. And the paddle is just so crisp. Like, exactly, there's a ton of pop to it. It's not a touch paddle, but you know exactly what the ball is going to do coming off of that paddle, which is what I really liked. You can get used to, you can soften your hands, right? But you can't generate more power with a paddle. Or you can't generate, anyway, a paddle can help you take pace off, but this paddle really helps me put extra pace on, and it feels good. I've tried lead tape, perimeter weighting, as you said, but I kind of like the paddle pretty light. I think the Premier is relatively head heavy. Like, there's a lot of weight in the head of the paddle as opposed to the handle. So I play at 7.5 ounces, which is really, really light compared to almost everybody on the Pro Tour. I think almost everybody's well over 8, and a lot of people are upwards of 9, 10 ounces. But I can play at 7.5 ounces because the paddle has so much pop to it. And I think Altoff plays at the same lightweight. Cassandra plays at the same lightweight. I think Lucy plays lightweight. I don't know what Matt does, but I've tried it, and I don't think it's necessary with the paddle. So I think there was a third question, but I forgot what it was. I've had like half a margarita and I'm gone. So
It's understandable. It's understandable. But I thought that was a great answer and another great question. Steve always asks such great questions. And this might be a bad thing to do being a podcast host, but I'm not afraid to admit that Steve Peranto was by far one of my all-time favorite guests on the show. I mean, it's hard to find somebody with the knowledge that he has in this game. And he's been around since almost the beginning, and his dad is in the Hall of Fame. He's in the Hall of Fame. They changed pickleball with the introduction of the paddle that they created and stuff. I mean, it's hard to beat. He performed music live when he was on our show. So I feel like he's on this level. It's kind of unfair to compare any other guests that we have on the show to him. There's awesome guests, and then we got Steve Peranto on his whole own level. So hopefully nobody is offended by me saying that, but I don't think anybody could disagree too much with me saying that.
So that answers my question from before. Who your favorite podcast guests were?
Yeah. I'm not afraid to answer the tough questions here, even though I didn't answer any of your other questions on the show, but that one.
Okay.
I
tough
feel like
question
that one.
Then. Who is your least favorite guest?
All right, so let's go to the next question here. This next question comes from. No, seriously, we've been so lucky. Every guest we've had has been amazing. I know that sounds like a generic cop out. That sounds like a cop out. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. Eddie, can you think of one that was a bad guest? I mean, we've had all awesome guests, right?
No, they're all great.
Exactly. Not a cop out.
I'm just
the truth.
You guys.
# truth. But anyways, let's move on to the next one. This next question is very exciting for us. It comes from somebody that is very well known outside of the world of pickleball, but he is actually very extremely passionate about pickleball. He is a former contestant and winner from the TV show Survivor. Here's a question from Tyson Apostle.
Yo, Zane, what's up, dude? This is Tyson, one of your closest friends. Anyways, I have a question for you. If you were stranded on a deserted island, there was a pickleball court and all your gear, who would you choose to be stranded with? Think about it.
Wow. I mean, first and foremost, I just have to compliment that epic lion picture in the background. Can we, Eddie, can we get that back up there? That was sweet. That thing is sweet. I need one of those in my den.
Yeah, that was pretty sweet. That's like the first thing that stood out to me. That was badass.
Wow. that is such a good question. If I
It
was
is.
stranded, who would I take with me? Well, if Jenny and Murray are watching the show, I have to say them, right? So we'll count them out, right? I would say, obviously my girlfriend Jenny, but
Yep.
after that, my dog, my parents, my family, all that type of stuff. But outside of that, I'd have to say probably either Altoff, Cassandra, or Jeff, because those guys all love to run their mouth, and there's just never a dull moment with those guys. So they would keep things entertaining while stranded on a desert island. So all the partners that I've had so far have been very mouthy, and I like that. So they keep things entertaining. I'd have to say one of those guys.
All right. That's a great answer. Thanks for the question. And there we go. There's the epic
There's the lion.
photo of the lion with Tyson there. That's an amazing photo.
That is epic.
But we've had a few groundbreaking moments tonight, and I'm actually going to break some news here. We haven't mentioned this in the public yet, but Tyson is actually going to join us on the podcast in a few weeks. So everybody can stay tuned, and we'll be talking to him. He's very, very passionate about pickleball, so I'm very excited to talk to him. We will talk a lot about pickleball and maybe a bit about the show Survivor and his time on Survivor, and maybe some behind-the-scenes dirt, find out like what actually goes into the making of these so-called reality shows. But that should be pretty exciting. That's cool, though. Thank you very much, Tyson. That's awesome that he asked it. And it's kind of funny because I was talking to him and I was like, hey, we've got this fairly new pro coming up on the show, Zane Navratil. It'd be pretty cool to have you ask a question. He was like, oh, I know Zane. He's a buddy of mine. We've played together before.
Yeah, we probably met like, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks ago. Yeah, he's a cool dude. I like him.
Nice. Yeah, that's awesome. I'm super excited to talk to him, so that'll be very fun. But let's
You got to
move
ask him
along
about
with
the windshield wiper. He owns me with the windshield wiper. That's his shot.
Oh,
You'll have to ask
the
him,
windshield wiper
about that. The
Interesting.
windshield wiper.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have to ask about that. But here's another question from another great friend of yours, and this is one from the one and only Chuck Feinstein.
Zane Navratil, my good friend. Chucky Feinstein here. My question for you. If you're playing in a big tournament and your partner has really bad gas, what would you do about it?
Wow. That happens a lot more than you'd think. I mean, between Altoff's diet and Cassandra's diet, holy crap, I'm used to it. I mean, even Dave I played with Dave a couple times. That guy rips them like nobody else. But, Chuck is really kind of the king of that. If you've ever been around Chuck Feinstein, he's a legend, right? There's a Pickleball Hall of Fame. He's part of the Pickleball Farting Hall of Fame. He consistently, day in and day out, has better farts than anybody else. I mean, to be honest, I'd say they're not particularly potent, so I can deal with that. Right? It's really just the auditory, distraction, but which you can get over. But what really kind of throws you off is when you can smell it for a little while. So what do? Yeah, I mean, there's not much you can do. You just got to play through it. You just got to, pretend like it doesn't happen, or just laugh at it. So, I do love the smell of my own farts. However, other people's farts, that's kind of where I like chest bumping. That's where I draw the line. I don't do other people's farts. So, but anyway, great question, Chuck.
That was a great question. Another deep question, if you will. I love how this episode has gone full circle. We learned how you love the smell of farts, and now we know how you deal with when your partners fart on the court. I mean, another thing you can't find anywhere else other than the Eddie and Webby show is this highbrow, top, high quality stuff. I mean, I don't even know what else to say about it. But
what else can
we're not
you
done
say?
yet, friend. Yeah, we're not done with this segment yet, my friend. We still got a few amazing questions. This next one actually comes from another legend in the sport of pickleball, and this one comes from Wes Gabrielson.
Hey Zane, hope you're doing well, my friend. As someone with Wisconsin roots, like I have, I always have had an interest in the culture of Wisconsin. So since you're a native Wisconsinite, I've got a couple of questions for you regarding Wisconsin. Number one, what are your 2 or 3 favorite traditional Wisconsin/Midwest dishes to eat? So food-wise there.
Thank you for cutting that up. I really do appreciate that, because these run-on questions were, after half of a margarita, this is kind of getting difficult for me. But what are my favorite Wisconsin dishes? I would have to say, and I'm partial to this, but Racine Kringle. Kringle from Racine, Wisconsin. Kringle is a type of, it's almost like a stuffed donut mixed with a croissant. It's very flaky and kind of buttery, and it's got a little filling. And I usually take it with me to, if anybody hosts me at a tournament, gives me a place to stay, I will bring them a Kringle from Racine, Wisconsin. So I love those. Culver's is great. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what other Wisconsin dishes are there. Culver's and Kringle. I love it. I'm not much of a beer drinker, unfortunately, so I can't say like Spotted Cow or Miller Lite or whatever, but
all right.
Kringle.
Well, Tim
and
Rogan
Culver's.
is tuning in on YouTube, and he wants to know, where in Wisconsin are you from? He's from Wapaka, something like that.
Wapaka. Come on, Webby. Wapaka.
I'm a
Everybody
Michigander.
knows that. I'm from. Fair enough. So I'm originally from Racine, and now I live in a Milwaukee suburb called Brookfield. So it's a western Milwaukee suburb.
Very nice.
I have no
very nice.
idea
Thank
where
you for the question.
Wapaka is, unfortunately.
Well, apparently in Wapaka, they love fried cheese curds and bratwurst, and that sounds amazing right now. All this food talk is making me
sounds
hungry.
about
I'm
right.
very hungry.
Sounds about right. Leslie, what's going on?
Oh, Leslie White, our good friend from Wolverine Pickleball. She says, yes, I'm looking forward to that pastry, Zane.
Oh yeah, I'm heading over there in the middle of December to do some clinics over at the new warehouse they put up. So I'm super excited for that. There'll be some
Nice.
Kringle coming that way.
Very nice.
And so
Oh,
the
you're gonna
thing
be in my
is,
neck of the woods. I live right by the warehouse.
Oh yeah, exactly. We'll have to get on that the half court versus full court thing that you were talking about.
That's right. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I was
there's a new.
specifically told not to bring up the 2 versus 1 versus Kylie Yates, so I'll skirt around that subject.
Okay, good. Yeah, we do not speak of that on the show anymore.
That was a long time ago, Zane. It was a long
Right?
time ago.
Those were different people. Kyle played 2 totally different people than what you see on the show today. All right.
Got it. Got it. I would hope so.
Yeah. Me
See,
too, definitely.
I feel like I don't want to be the only one getting roasted on this show. I need to make sure you guys are getting roasted too a little bit. That was like a half roast. I don't even know, but
I feel like the fact
Whatever.
that video exists, the 2 versus 1, Eddie and Webby versus Kylie Yates, the fact that video exists, that's like equivalent to us getting roasted for years straight, because nobody has forgotten about that. Everybody thinks that we're still those same losers that couldn't score a point against him or the 10-year-old kids.
Let me tell you something. It says a lot about people when they can put a video on YouTube of themselves playing and get destroyed like that. And Webby and I, if you go to our channel, you'll see that we have no problem showing when we play like absolute garbage. And there's a lot of people out there that don't. They only show the videos that make them look good or the points that make them look good. We don't do that. But how dare you bring that up, Zane? That was a long time ago. That was a long, long time ago.
Right. I thought we had an agreement that wouldn't get brought up. In fact, Eddie, where's the disconnect button? How do we disconnect him from this?
Yeah, dump button. Here we go.
But
dump me.
I feel like this was forever ago. But Wes Gabrielson asked a really good question, but that wasn't the only question from Wes. Here's question number 2.
My second and most burning question here is, do people from Wisconsin really have a thick accent? So my question to you, don't you know, is what is a word or two or a phrase that you can share with us with a real thick Wisconsin accent? Hope you're doing well, my brother in Onyx, and take care. See you on the court soon.
Oh man, Wes is such a good guy. I love Wes.
Yeah.
What's a thick Wisconsin accent? I don't know. I do a lot of if you go to the door at the same exact time that somebody else does, you go oh. But I don't know. I can't really think of anything off the top of my head. I apologize. That's a bad answer, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
So when Wes said, "Don't you know?" Like the first time I ever heard somebody talk like that, I don't know if anybody tuning in remembers this cartoon. There was a cartoon called Bobby's World where Howie Mandel did the voice of Bobby from Bobby's World, and his mom always said, "Oh, Bobby, what you doing? Don't you know?" Like she said, "Don't you know?" after almost everything she said. So that was the first time I got introduced to the Wisconsin accent, and I thought that was just like a wacky thing they did for that cartoon. I didn't realize that people actually spoke like that. But then I met some people from Wisconsin. I saw the movie Fargo and saw that other people talk like that too.
Webby, can you say that again? That almost sounded like Irish more than Wisconsin. Say it again.
Oh, Bobby, what you doing? Don't you know?
That's an Irish accent. That's not even a Wisconsin accent. That's an Eddie, come on, back me up on this. That's an Irish accent.
I do agree. It sounded a little bit Irish.
Yeah, whatever. I didn't claim to be a Wisconsin accent expert, did I?
Fair enough. We won't hold you to it.
So those were some great questions. We have one question left in the Asking Pros questions segment. But actually, like, we don't always just do questions from pros. The final question comes from a huge fan of yours. And so let's just go ahead and play this question from Zane's biggest fan.
Hey Zane, Cassie here. I'm one of your biggest fans, and I'm super excited that Webby asked me to come on the show and ask you a question. So I've been watching a lot of your mixed doubles lately, and you play with this, I can't remember her name right now, but she's super funny, super pretty, she's a really good player. And I've just noticed your mix style is very different, and you guys seem to have a lot of confusion in the middle. So my question for you is, does the forehand take the middle or the backhand? Because I've seen you guys both do it different times. So I actually prefer the backhand takes the middle, but just wanted to check and see what your thoughts were.
Move, Zane, get out the way. Get out the way, Zane, get out the way. Move, Zane, get out the way. Get out the way, Zane, get out the way.
Yep. That just happened.
That is too good. I was actually formulating my response, and I was going to say, there's a song that we always talk about when we play together. But then again, that's another comment that would lose me all of my sponsors. So, no, Cass and I have a unique relationship when it comes to the middle. She's so good at the frying pan gurky punch. If she gets there first, that's all hers. If I get there first, it's all mine. But sometimes if we clunk paddles, we will we'll start humming a ludicrous song. And yeah, that's about that. You guys got the idea of it. That was too good. I was wondering when Cassandra was going to show up on this. This is awesome.
Well, we had to save the best for last, obviously. So I love it. But yeah. Cass reached out to us and wanted to put that together. And like, she wanted us to play a little bit of the ludicrous song, but unfortunately, Facebook and YouTube, they have all these regulations. They don't allow copyright music and stuff, so we couldn't play the real thing. So we did the next best thing. We added music from the Pickleball for Life song and just did a horrible, ludicrous impression.
That was perfect. What else can you want?
That's right. But thanks, Cass. I knew I could count on Cass for doing something awesome for this episode because I know you two have a great history. The first time I ever met you actually was last year at the Great Lakes Regionals. I don't know if you remember it, but I came
I do,
there. It was
yeah.
my very first time. It was my first time ever meeting Cass in person. She had been on our show, but I had never met her in person. So I was super excited to meet her. And then you two were playing together. That was my first time ever meeting you and seeing you play in person. And that it just blew my mind because before that point in time, I hadn't had a whole lot of exposure to pro pickleball. So it was very cool to see you guys play. Dave Weinbach was there, and DJ Howard. That was my first true taste of pro pickleball in person. Like once I knew what pro pickleball was. Eddie and I had gone to the very first Beer City Open, but we've talked about this before. Like neither of us knew anything about the pro pickleball world. So like we were seeing people play, like the absolute best in the country were playing, but we didn't know who anybody was. So like I feel like we didn't really appreciate it as much as we could have or should have. So that last year when I met you for the first time, that was my first true taste of pro pickleball action, like when I could actually appreciate it. I guess I could just say it
Wow,
that
I
way.
had no idea that was your first time to that pro pickleball event because you guys had been doing your podcasts for your Facebook videos for a while before that. I had no idea that was your first time seeing it in person.
Yeah. Yeah, like I felt like I knew Cass real good because like ever since she was on the show and stuff, like she was a big supporter of ours, and we communicate with her regularly. So I felt like she was a great friend of mine, but I had never just never met her in person until that day. So it was pretty cool to put a face to the name and so on, and see you guys play in person. That was awesome. But man, this night has been super fun. I can't believe it's already been almost 2 hours. This night has flown by. And the previous episode, we had Steve Deacon on, and we said we probably would never be able to top his pros asking pros questions segment. But I don't know about you, Eddie. I think tonight very well gave it a very good run for its money, if not beat his, which I thought would never happen.
Yeah, I got to tell you, the pros asking pros segment tonight was probably the most, I don't even know what the right term is, versatile group. We went full circle many times, but also we've had a lot of questions and comments coming in on Facebook. We've had a ton of people tuning in live. So I think that goes a lot. That says a lot about you, Zane, and people really enjoy you. They like seeing you out on the court, but they also like getting to know you a little bit better. So building you up again. Don't worry. We're gonna bring you down a notch before we send you off, though.
Yeah, please do. I prefer to be, I operate best from in the gutter.
Nice.
No, thank you guys. Thank you guys for having me on. This is a ton of fun. I really enjoyed it, and you guys didn't have to do this, and I'm having fun with it. You guys do a phenomenal job, and production quality is great. I like it.
Oh,
I'll be here weekly.
You're gonna make me blush now. Jeez. No, this is cool though. I definitely appreciate it. I do have one more question that I want to ask you. I keep hearing that you burn through shoes a lot. Like, cause obviously anybody that watches you play, you're very quick. You run from coast to coast on the court, like super quick. One of the quickest I know in the game. So how often do you have to swap out your shoes and replace your shoes?
In the summer, my shoes usually last me about 3 weeks. If I'm playing inside in the winter, a lot of times the court surface is a little more slick and doesn't tear down the shoes quite as much. So those will probably last me like 6 weeks maybe. But yeah, the shoe budget, I'm not a shoe geek by any means, but the shoe budget has been pretty large lately. Until I got sponsored by Wilson. That's nice.
Oh, nice. Congrats. So I know you're in the Midwest
helps.
like I am. So in the winter, do you play indoors on tennis court surface or is it gym court surface? Like a majority of the time in the winter?
Well, a little bit of both. I try to do tennis court surface. So I'll play, like I said, I play locally with Kyle Solinko a bunch. He and I drill a whole bunch. But John Sincola and I play, but that's about an hour and a half away for me. We'll drill on a brand new indoor tennis court surface for pickleball. So a little bit of both. But any angel investors out there looking to come to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, there's a desperate need for indoor pickleball over here. So hit me up.
Nice.
Or if you just want to sponsor me and give me some money, that's cool too.
Yeah.
I'm up for it.
There we go.
And Eddie and Webby too. While you're at it, might as well. For the boys.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm very fortunate with the you mentioned the Wolverine Pickleball Warehouse in Ann Arbor. That's not too far
very
from
true.
me. There's also a place in St. Clair Shores, Michigan, called the Wimbledon Pickleball Club at the Wimbledon
Mixed
Racket
club.
Club. I'm very lucky now. Up until this year, it sucked because I had to play mostly on gym court surface all winter. But now I have some very, very solid indoor tennis court surface options. So everybody better watch out. I'm going to get really good this winter. I want to focus on my singles game. I feel like singles is pretty COVID safe. You don't have to, there's no chance of having to worry about germs from a partner. I feel like if anybody has like another partner that is being pretty COVID safe, then you have nothing to worry about. But for me, I don't have a regular doubles or mixed partner. So I think I'm going to focus on singles, get my singles game going. And then I'm going to destroy Eddie next year when we do the next Eddie versus Webby championship match.
You're dreaming.
We got a beautiful brand new Eddie versus Webby championship belt. And I love how Eddie likes to rub it in, but like he's barely beaten me almost every match. I mean,
Does it matter if you barely beat somebody or not? No. What matters is if you do beat them. And 5 times in a row is not barely beating somebody. That's beating them 5 times in a row.
But I mean, if you think about it, you're playing with Simone regularly. I play with the 70 and 80-year-olds at the senior center.
I'm not playing with Simone. No. All right, listen. I'm not playing with Simone
Guys,
regularly.
I can leave. I can get out.
We
I can
record
let you guys
videos sometimes.
settle it.
Yeah. Anyway, it's not what's going down. But I tell you what is going down. And that is you the next time we're together in the next Eddie versus Webby match, my friend.
I don't know. We'll see. I feel like all the pressure's on you. I've got nothing to lose. I mean, if I lose, it's expected. If you lose, you're going to be a failure. You're going to make Simone look bad. You've got a lot of weight on your shoulders, so I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But
that
enough
would be
about us.
pretty embarrassing, Eddie.
I agree.
Right?
I totally agree.
Yeah. Simone would never let him hear the end of it. So I want to beat him so bad. I want to beat him so bad next time. So anybody in the Southeast Michigan area that wants to help me get some coaching, I'll gladly accept. But enough about us. Let's get back to Zane here. But seriously, we can't thank you enough. This has been a super fun night. Definitely one of my favorite episodes. I'm not going to lie. I know people think I say that to everybody, but this has been an awesome episode. Super fun. But I do want to give you a chance to take the mic, say whatever you want to say. Tell people the best way to follow you. If anybody wants to follow Murray, anything. The mic is yours. What would you like the world to know?
Yeah, well, thank you guys for having me on. I can't think of a better way to spend a Thursday night. This was a ton of fun for me. So thanks. You guys put on a great show. Yeah, you guys hit the nail on the head. Murray, his Instagram is @meant2be_Murray. The number 2 instead of TO, meant to be Murray. So if you want to follow him to figure out what his DNA is, obviously you have to be on Instagram to do that. So no, but I guess I'd just like to say, thank you we kind of talked about it a little bit, but thanks to my family members who this has not been an easy transition for them. Me going away from the safety of a job at Deloitte and a very good first job out of college to the unknown of pickleball and the traveling and all that type of stuff. So I want to say thanks to the people that have been cool with it. So
awesome.
That's the biggest thing.
Very cool. But yeah, seriously.
Ended on a sappy note.
Right. Yeah. No, I love.
Look at that. Hey, look at this. One person just followed Meant to be Murray on Instagram. Thank you, Tammy.
Hell yeah.
Thank you,
Nice.
Tammy. Let's go.
Tammy, you are awesome. I love it. I love
Be like
the
Tammy.
instant feedback and reaction. I love it. Gotta love the the age we're living in, the age of social media, where things are instant. You can see that. You can see how powerful our show is. Murray got us a follower right here and there.
Mm-hmm. It's
But
important.
this has been super awesome. Thank you very much, Zane. A very fun, very unforgettable night. It's sure to go down in Eddie and Webby history as one of the best. So, and I feel like your career is just going to skyrocket from here. So I love the fact that we had you on before you started winning all the triple crowns all over the place. You're gonna knock Ben off that pedestal of his. I feel like his time. He's had enough time in the spotlight. It's time for him to go down, and I think Zane is the guy to do that.
Well, just like we said with this podcast, set the expectations low and then over deliver. So,
That's right.
I don't like you guys setting the bar so high. I'm just kidding, but thank you guys. This is a ton of fun.
No, well, thank you, and I hope you have a great night, and can't wait to see all the greatness in store for you in 2021. And have a good one.
All right, you as well.
Man,
wow, another great one, Webby.
What a fun night! I mean, like I was blown away. Like we had, I don't know about you. I think that might have been the most viewers we've had live tuning in. Like there was a lot of people tuning into this episode. I love it.
Yeah, I agree. There was a lot of great social media interaction going on. Not that Webby and I, like, our main goal isn't numbers and viewership. It really is not. I'm not just making it up. Our main goal is just to have fun and be able to really highlight how amazing these pickleball pros are and kind of give them the recognition that they deserve. But when we have an episode like this with all of the amazing pros asking pros questions, all of the great people tuning in on Facebook and YouTube and throwing comments in there, it just continues to reaffirm that what we're trying to do is working. And we really want to thank all of you guys out there that are live or are listening to this after the fact. Seriously, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. This has been awesome. And like Eddie said, we definitely like how many people tune in live. That really doesn't matter too much to us. I'm always surprised that more than 3 people tune in to any episode. So anytime I see way more than 3 people tune in, it just kind of blows my mind.
That's right. But we keep plugging away, man. I honestly think that, like, if we look at the statistics of people that have podcasts or I mean, we use the term podcast loosely because who knows what that means anymore. But you know, YouTube channel or content creators, and most people, if after what are we at 2.5, 3? Are we at 3 years now of doing this? We're probably at about 3 years.
Yeah, I think this is our 3rd year.
If most people that after 3 years, if they would have only gotten to the point that we're at right now, they would have quit a long time ago. And I think it's because, it's just, it can kind of be sometimes like, oh my God, man, we're killing it and we're not getting the views that we want. But I think it's also because we're in the pickleball world. It's still a very small niche community. And we just keep plugging away. We just keep doing what we do.
Yeah, for sure. And like something that blows my mind, and it's awesome to see, but like anytime I go to a tournament, it doesn't matter if it's one in Michigan or in Indiana or down in Florida. Pretty much every tournament I go to, somebody comes up to me and says, "Hey, I'm a huge fan of your show. I love what you guys are doing. I love what you're doing for pickleball." Like it gives me goosebumps because like I still feel like I just remember the days when we first started it where only the people in our family would watch what we were doing, and that was only if we told them to watch, like made them watch. And for like anybody outside of our like close friends and family to say that they're familiar with what we're doing and that they like what we're doing, I mean, you guys have no idea how much that means to us. And it's such a cool feeling. Like I love what we're doing, and the fact that people actually like it too. Like it's awesome. I love it.
I agree, man. That was a great episode. Great job, Webby, with putting all that together. I know Webby joked earlier and said that if it wasn't for me, that none of this would be possible. But I don't agree with that because you do so much work getting a lot of this stuff prepared as well. So that way we can have a lot of great content and media to go with these podcasts. So don't sell yourself too short there, buddy.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes. Well, Webby, that was as I mentioned, another great episode here. We are going to be taking the stream down here shortly and coming right back with Dinking Around with Eddie and Webby. You don't want to miss it because we do have a special guest arranged. And although we went a little bit longer than we expected, I hope she's still able to join us. Right, Webby?
Yep, that is correct. And so if anybody's not familiar with what Dinking Around is, it's our post-podcast show. Sometimes we have a guest, sometimes we don't. But tonight we do. She is ready to go and join us. And it's sure to be very fun. And I don't know why we always act like nobody knows. It's Hannah Johns. Ben Johns' sister, Hannah Johns, is going to join us. So stay tuned.
That's right. Stay tuned for that. Well, I want to thank all of you. This was episode number 77, which means there's 77 of you out there still. And guess what, Webby?
What?
We love you guys. Thank you very much. And on that note, I'm Eddie.
And until next time, this is Webby, not Eddie, signing off.
See ya.